Okay, so yeah, Drew Campbell, originally from Melbourne, Australia. Um, I grew up in Australia. I've been in the sports nutrition industry in space for 2.5 decades, 23 years, nearly 24 years.
スポーツ栄養業界にはもう23年、24年、ずっとこの業界にいます。
So you could that was in my actual career and working life, 23, 24 years, 2.5 decades. But actually, I started lifting weights and drinking protein powder when I was a young teenager, 12 years old.
12歳から実際は筋トレとそれからプロテインは飲んでる。
Yeah, my father actually is a pharmacist by trade, so he owned pharmacies. And in Australia, when I was a child, there wasn't health food stores like there is now. There wasn't supplement stores. There wasn't sports nutrition stores. So you got your vitamins and protein power from the local pharmacy. So as a young boy, I worked on school holidays in my father's pharmacy, learning about vitamins, learning about protein, and lifting weights at a young age as well.
父親は、薬剤師で薬局を持っていて、で昔は、ああいうサプリメントショップみたいなのなかったので、ビタミンとかプロテインっていうのは全部薬局で売ってたらしいんですよ。で彼は自分のお父さんのお店でアルバイトしながら、そういったものを勉強した。
So yeah, I'm in this industry honestly because I love it. I mean, it's like Seiji-san, Dr. Seiji next to me. We do this certainly not just for the money. If with my communication skills, I should have gone into real estate and I'd be a multi-billionaire by now. Not that you cannot make money from sports nutrition and a good career. You can make significant money as well. And we've had some very successful businesses and working on many different things, but we don't do it just for the money.
で、この業界にいるのは、スポーツ栄養が好きでいるんであって、別に例えば不動産屋になっていくらでも儲けることができたんだけども、本当にこの業界が好きだからこの業界に身を置いている。
So again, I began my career lifting weights and drinking protein powder at a young age, but the first true job in the industry that I had was GNC, General Nutrition Center, which at the time was the largest health food store, supplement store in the world, and I started that when I was 21 years old.
実際筋トレしてプロテイン飲んでるのは12歳だったんだけども、21歳の時に GNC ってあるじゃないですか。そこに働き始めた。
So started working in there. I was one of the few that wasn't a personal trainer or wasn't a nutritionist. In Australia, at least, it was largely to do with those, with a background in mine. I studied public relations and marketing. The reason I worked for GNC because I loved nutrition. And I spent a lot of money at GNC as a customer, and if you became an employee, you got a huge staff discount, 50% off the retail prices. So to me, it made sense. I loved doing it, and I got a huge discount working in the company.
実際に勉強したことはマーケティングとか PR なんだけども、GNC で勤めてる人たちの中ではほとんどが栄養士とかトレーナーだったんですけど、彼はまた違うバックグラウンドで働いていて、だけども要はそれが好きで、なおかつ従業員割引 50% オフで買えたから非常に良かった。
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot. I think how I learned about nutrition informally was working in the store. I knew a lot more than most people back then. Was before the internet, so I had to do a lot of magazine reading, book reading. There was very little technology back then. So I learned from books, magazines, customers, naturopaths, and there was a very dear friend of mine. I've had many mentors in my life that have helped teach and guide me. One of the most amazing mentors, may he rest in peace, he's passed on now because he's quite old, was Dr. John. And Dr. John was a PhD in naturopathy and an absolute genius when it came to natural medicine. And he became a personal friend. He was 75 years old. I was 21, 22, and we became best friends, but he was a mentor to me.
当時はインターネットなんかなかったんで、自分が勉強したい栄養の勉強はもう全部雑誌とか、それから実際にお客さんからとか、そういうところから勉強して、その中で一人だけそのメンターとしているのがドクター・ジョンっていう人で、彼からいろんなことを勉強した。ジョン、yeah, what's his last name?
Meglahan.
Meglahan.
Meglahan. He was from Holland originally. He was Australian, but he immigrated as a young boy from Holland.
オランダ人で、オーストラリアに帰化した。
ネットで検索すれば出てきます。
Does he come up on the internet?
No.
No.
This is before the internet days,
結構昔の人なんで出てこない。
and he died 10 years ago.
もう 10年前に死んじゃった。
論文とか残してません。
What about, has he written any papers, scientific papers?
I don't know, to be honest.
じゃあちょっと調べて。
そうですね。What, スペルはわかります？
多分大丈夫です。なんとかしてます。
あ、本当。What's the spelling of his last name?
I'll have to double check that.
Okay.
Meglahan.
Meglahan.
Yeah.
Hi.
Anyway, so I had to learn a lot working in the company. Then I transitioned. I did a few other jobs, and eventually in 2005, I was always an entrepreneur type of figure. I always wanted to do business. I never really wanted to work for somebody because I have too much creative energy in me. And unfortunately, most of the time, if you're working in a JOB job, you cannot be fully creative.
もともと彼はすごいクリエイティブな性格なので、人の下で働くのは嫌だということなんで、まあ普通の会社に勤めてたらそういうチャンスがなかった。
So in 2005, well, in the early 2000s, I was watching a lot of documentaries and news programs, reading the newspaper, and I could see that Asia, and especially China, was growing and opening up, and there may be some good entrepreneurial opportunities for me in China. So I moved to China in 2005 to start a fresh life.
で、2005年当初、いろんな意味で、中国がオープンっていうか、だいぶ開けてきたので、そこに新しいチャンスを求めて、移住した。2005年に移住しました。移住したんです。はい。
So when I moved over, originally I absolutely did not plan to do nutrition when I moved to China. I wanted, like many foreigners that go to China, and maybe some foreigners that have gone to Japan, I wanted to do easy business, make easy money, be a multi-millionaire in, overnight, and then move back to Australia on a beach property and retire.
もともとその中国行って栄養をやろうなんて思ってもいなかったんだけども、本当に早く億万長者になって、でオーストラリアに早く帰ってこうというふうに思ってたらしいです。
That's what I wanted, but it never happens that way.
でもそれは理想であって、それは起こらない。
Never. So I originally did some exporting in surround sound theatre systems, speakers, exporting back to Australia to friends, and electronics. And it was a lot of work, very boring, and every single factory cheated me and with bad quality products. So
で、一番初めに、そうです音響システムを輸出する仕事をしたんだけども、何しろつまらなかったということと、あと、製造工場の方が結構騙すやつが多かったということで嫌になっちゃった。
So I ended up spending a great deal of time, and if I could add up the amount of hours that I spent, I was probably earning 50 cents an hour, on the actual money I ended up earning, and I didn't enjoy it.
実際に働いた時間を自分の収入と掛け合わせると1時間50セントぐらい仕事だ給料だったと。
So in 2005, 2006 in China, I was going to the gym, and it was very, very difficult to find vitamins and protein. Very difficult for my own needs.
2005年、2006年当時、ジムに向こうで行ってて、だけどもビタミンとかプロテインとかを手に入れることができなかった。 ね、中国で。
So my entrepreneurial spidey senses, Spider-Man senses, entrepreneurial senses, wow, there may be an opportunity in nutrition.
で、もう即その栄養、スポーツ栄養を減れば金になるだろうというふうに思ったと。
素晴らしい。
And that was my background. So in 2006 and early 2007, I started doing research, understanding who the distributors were, the suppliers were. And in early 2007, we launched our first website in China, Sport Nutrition and Vitamins.
でスポーツ栄養の、いろいろと調べた結果、誰がどういうディストリビューターで、どこで製造できるかということを調べた上で、自分で、2007?
Yes.
2007
April 2007.
4月2007年の4月に自分の、You did it on online.
Yes.
オンラインのショップを立ち上げた。
So, you know, and as I was the first foreign company, the first company kind of to do this, even there wasn't many Chinese companies back then, 2007. I mean, China was very different, 2007.
2007年、今の中国全然違ってて、で当然中国の会社もアメリカっていうか海外の会社もそういうことをやってるとかなかった。
Very different. So I thought, you know, it's going to be easy. I've got all this experience in sports nutrition in Australia and globally. You know, I'm good at marketing, and I started the business. You know, and it actually did take off quite quickly. We were selling back then. There was a lot more expatriates, foreigners living in China back then. There was also a lot more what we call return Chinese that studied overseas or lived overseas and came back. So they had more money and they had more understanding of nutrition.
で当時は、結構外国人も多かったし、それから海外に行って帰ってきた中国人もいっぱいいたんで、そういう人たちってのは意外とお金を持ってる富裕層だったので、そういう人たち相手に商売したらかなりいい線いってる。
So we started and we built the website. To be frank, our customers didn't know this. Actually, my wife and I, she was my girlfriend back then, she's still my wife now, our apartment was the warehouse. So in our lounge room, we had protein powder, pre-workout, glutamine, creatine, fat burners, the bookshelf. Got rid of the bookshelf and all the vitamins and herb selection was there in our apartment. Our apartment was the warehouse.
今の奥さんなんですけど、当時ばっかり彼女だったんですけど、一緒に住んでたところが実際自分の倉庫だからもうトイレとか洗濯置き場とかそういうところにはもうプロテインとかビタミンとかそういったものが山ほど積んである。
It was crazy. We had back then, because my Chinese back then, even now, is not amazing. It's pretty bad. But back then I had almost no Chinese language. But fortunately, a lot of our customers were foreigners. So I'd get phone calls and they would always want to come to the store. Can I come and visit to the store, ask questions? I go, well, our warehouse and store is very outside of town. You know, it's 1.5 hours outside of Beijing, because this is Beijing at the time when we lived, because I didn't want to come to my apartment.
で結構やっぱ外国人とか多かったわけなんですけども、ぜひ店に行きたいとって言われても店にないわけだから店はもう1時間か2時間当時北京に住んでて北京の郊外だからもう行けないというふうに断って何しろ家に来てもらいたくなかったと。
So it was crazy. Long story short, we eventually opened retail stores in Beijing. We opened 2 retail stores and then 3 standalone retail stores in Shanghai. And from 2007 to about 2012, we had rapid growth. The biggest problem we had was cash flow, because we imported everything, almost everything we imported, and there was a big delay on stock arriving, but we had to pay everything up front. So it was the biggest problem between 2007 and 2012. We didn't have enough inventory.
で、その後、店を2軒北京にオープンしたのと、それから、上海に3軒、ちっちゃい店ですけど、開けて、で、一番その当時問題だったのはキャッシュフローで、物を輸入するのに全部まず払わなきゃいけないじゃないですか。でも在庫あるわけだから、お金もないんで、そのキャッシュフローがすごい悪かったんですよ。
Yeah. So we built it, and then that was kind of my first major business. I won't talk. I'm sure you've got other questions, so I won't keep talking about this. But we ended up selling that company in 2017, and then we started the GPNi, the Global Performance Nutrition Institute, with my business partner and very good friend, my protein drinking partner, Dr. Seijay, for the Japanese market in Japanese language.
で、その会社も2017年に、売って売却して、で、今のこの GPNi、グローバルパフォーマンスニュートリションインスティテュートの設立した。で、それの日本のパートナーが僕です。
And our company has created all the courses, online, on demand, full technology now in Japanese language, Chinese simplified language, Chinese traditional language, and of course, English language. And we are the exclusive partners for the world-renowned International Society of Sports Nutrition, ISSN. And both their certifications, the SNS certification level 1 and the CISSN Masters Level 2.
で、GPNi 自体は、ISSN 国際スポーツ医学会の、パートナーで、そういった教育プログラムを作ってそれを提供するという役割で、全世界の、なんていうかな、そういう教育プログラムをやる権利を持っている会社です。2つあって、1個はだからさっき説明した SNS、今回日本語でやるやつは、日本語と当然英語あります。それと中国語の、なんか難しいのと簡単なのもあるじゃないですか。それ両方、の今、テキストがあってやってる。で、その上にもう一個その CISSN っていうのがある。それはもっとこうアドバンス
ちょっともっと少し時間戻るんですけど、なぜこれを設立しようと思ったんですか？
So go back a little bit. Why had you decided to build or establish GPNi?
It's a very good question. And it links back into my original business in China, is we could see in China, but Asia in general, that there was a great misunderstanding on nutrition, misconceptions, even lies about nutrition. Creatine's going to give you prostate cancer, protein's going to make you go bald, protein's going to make you fat, vitamins give you liver disease. I mean, all of these different misconceptions. There was a big gap in knowledge in the market.
で、中国も、要は本当の知識とそういったものが欠けてて、それでもう間違った理解してる人がすごい多くて、それこそ、クレアチンを飲むと肝臓を悪くするとか、タンパク質プロテイン飲みすぎると頭がはげるとか、そういう、今の日本みたいなもんですよ。そういう、状況であったと。
Exactly. So, and because of that, we could see a big opportunity in the market when it comes to the selling of sports nutrition, because if they could understand it more, they could appreciate sports nutrition more. So that was a problem that we had in my original business. My original business, by the way, was called World Health Store, WHS, World Health Store, WHS.
前の会社の名前がWHS、ワールドヘルスストアという名前で、でやっぱりそういう知識のないのがやはり問題だというのが前の会社で分かったことです。
So that we saw a big opportunity in this space, but I didn't have any full understanding on education and fitness certifications back then, and we partnered with the ISSN, which amazing partners and an amazing brand and research, the true researchers in the sports nutrition space, the original pioneers in sports nutrition research space, but they didn't have any courses or education material or anything at all. So we had to literally build everything from bottom up.
で実際に ISSN の資格認定のプログラムっていうのは、テキストとか教材は実はないんですよ。で試験だけで受かったらいいという。これなんですね。 これを一から作り上げて、でそれを使ってその資格を取るというやり方。
そう、ISSN ってそうなんですか？
今のね、資格認定は本当に試験さえ受かればいいなんですよ。そうそう。
それはま
そう
ずい
まずいでしょ。で、これはその勉強する教材があって試験を受けるというか、これを作ったのがだから GPNi。
すごいいいアイデアだと。
It's a good idea.
Yeah. And so this is the Japanese language version. So you got the ISSN, SNS, and what's that in Japanese? How do we read?
スポーツ栄養スペシャリスト。
Ah,
So English スポーツ栄養スペシャリスト。
oh, very, very cool, man. It sounds Spanish. Specialito or Italian. Specialito. Oh, okay, cool. I'm learning Japanese in my trip here. So everything is translated by our PhD expert translator in Japanese language. So it's from the highest level in sports nutrition research, mostly from the ISSN, but also from some other journals as well. But it's been fully localized and perfected into Japanese language.
これ、日本語に訳したのは、僕訳したんですけど、エビデンスは ISSN がすごい強いので、それを、ベースにして。
これで結構アメリカ、中国、日本と結構グローバルな制度になると思うんですけど、これやっぱ統一化する必要性ってやっぱある知識レベルを。
So we do this in English and Chinese and Japanese. Is it necessary to standardize the material or the content?
Some of it, yes. Most of it is standardized. That is very important. 95% is standardized. It's just translated into the various languages and localized. However, there is approximately 5% that not just actually language, but depending on the country or region, it's got nothing to do with language, to do with the RDIs and what is recommended on the recommended daily intake.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the acronym. So the RDIs are different in each country, and that needs to be inserted into the text.
で基本的にはエビデンスは変わらないじゃないですか。だから、内容は一緒なんですけど、95% はもう同じ。どこでも。ただ、残りの 5% でローカライズして、やってるところに合うような、特にその RDI に関しては各国違うので、そういったものとか、あと食材とか、そういうところもやはり違うので、それはローカルに合わせた内容。
これやっぱ今一応これ作ってるじゃないですか。やっぱ情報アップデートしてくる。
So would this be updated?
We update at the very early stages. We were updating new versions about 6 times a year, so once every 2 months. When we first started, now we do about 2 a year new editions.
で作った当時は年に6回ぐらいアップデートしたんですけども、今はだいたい年に2回ぐらい。
まあそうですね。
でこれも日本語作るときに結構中身僕はチェックしてアップデートしたやつあります。Told him I updated a few things.
Yeah. I mean, what Dr. Seijay and Japan team has updated it and really added some very beneficial things that are suited and targeted towards Japan as well.
これちょっとあれですかね。僕が言ったのってなんか出ます。ちょっとディープな話になるんであれです。大丈夫ですかね。日本の現状なんですけど、スポーツ栄養を教える人っていうのがかなり10年前とかかなり前のを使って教えているという状況なので、これはすごくいいんですが、それについてどう思いますか？
So in Japan, the people teaching sports nutrition is actually using old textbook, old material. So he really values this because it's up to date information. So what do you think? Are there any comments on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, when it comes to academic books, in the world, and this is not just a Japanese thing, but I would say, a lot of university programs, because sports nutrition is very cutting edge. It's always developing. It's sports nutrition is ahead of everywhere else by 20 years, in general. But a lot of the universities still haven't adopted a lot of sports nutrition. More and more in the Western markets, America does have, but 20 years ago there was none. Specific sports nutrition programs in university studies. So, we're very, very advanced and ahead of everything else. So not just Japan, but a lot of universities, a lot of textbooks are very 30, 40, 50 years out of date.
で確かに日本だけじゃなくて海外でもやっぱスポーツ栄養を大学とかで教えてるのは古い技術を使ったりするんですけど、これに関しては本当になんていうの ISSN の最先端のサイエンスを入ってるんで、そういった意味では。So I'll mention how position stands updated every 5 years
Absolutely.
or so, right?
Or they read through depending on which position stand. Sometimes it's updated more often, but average of 5 years.
特に国際スポーツ栄養学会ポジションペーパーって出してるじゃないですか。あれも本当毎 5年に1回ぐらいとかあって変わってるし、それを変えてるのがISSN なので、どんどんアップデートされて。
そうですよね。だから、その世界の流れと日本のそのアップデートしない情報で乖離が出てくる。
そうそう。当然
ですよね。だから多分もうちょっと世界に目を向けた方がいいんじゃないかなっていうの中で。
Yeah. So he thinks that in Japan people are using old textbook, but the science of sports nutrition is really evolving, right? So there's going to be a lot of difference between the two down the road as well.
Yeah, there's some fundamentals that never change with sports nutrition, and Dr. Seijay knows this more than myself. There is some consistent fundamentals that remain the same, but the details matter. So on a foundational level, it's okay with the fundamentals, but you're not going to be advanced and you're not going to be cutting edge without understanding the up-to-date details.
で当然栄養学の基礎ってのは変わらないわけですけども、それの応用とかそういったのも絶えず変わってる。
そこに対してこうアンテナ立ててないと結構このスポーツ現場とかで指導するときにちょっとこう古い話を選手に与えちゃうんだ。
Yeah, so if let's say the coaches or your nutritionists, if they don't keep up with the advanced, sports nutrition, they'll be teaching with the old information.
Outdated, old information. And if they're working with the general public or with athletes, I mean, it is the difference between winning and losing. Because when in today's world, with the competition the way it is, if you're not using the most look at technology. I mean, we're sitting today in Tokyo, being interviewed by a handsome gentleman who got his helicopter license from Melbourne, Australia, with technology all around us, an iPhone 14 and microphone here. It's the most advanced, up-to-date technology. So we doing what we're doing. Imagine I was using a 30-year-old telephone to use a video. I can't do it. And it's the same when you're looking at advanced technology and understanding nutrition. You're setting yourself up to lose if you don't understand what is the most precise nutrition and technology to use today's world.
そのアップデートした情報を入れてないと、こういう技術もそうなんですけど、要は勝てない。もうそういう意味ではきちっとそういう進歩についていかなきゃいけない。
日本がなかなかこう、今でもね、マシになってきましたけど、そんなに強くないのはそこなんじゃないかなっていう気がしてるんです。
So he thinks Japan is getting better, but I think the weak point of Japan is exactly that point. It's not keeping up.
You guys still have a fax machine in Japan.
いやそれ言ってたんで、名刺にファックス書いてあるじゃないですか。誰が今ファックス持ってるって言うんですか。
そうだからそのさっきのホテルの対応とかも、もうまさしく同じ状況。
So the guy upstairs, it symbolizes Japan.
Yeah. Very old school. Refuses to change.
いやだから多分キャンベルさんがやろうとしてるのは結構これから必要なことだと思います。
So conceptually, this is really what Japan is needed.
Absolutely. So and Japan. is I'm sure you guys know a lot. Not sure you guys know a lot more about Japanese culture and what is needed. But I would say, every market in the world needs, our program or a program like ours and qualification certification. Because, I mean, as an example, a huge amount of our students in every country are actually nutritionists and dietitians, you know, with degrees, some of them with even PhDs in nutrition or dietitian.
実際に海外でもその栄養士さんだったり栄養を勉強してきた栄養士さんとか、僕みたいに博士号を持ってるような連中がこのコースを取ってる実際ですよね。
And the reason they choose our programs, whether it's the PNE Level 1 SNS or the PNE Level 2 Masters CISSN certification and qualification, I mean, is because what they're learning in university, I mean, is great stuff. I mean, it's amazing, but it's a lot in clinical nutrition, and really the way I like to say it is it's teaching people how to survive.
で実際にその、栄養士さんはあんまりスポーツ栄養勉強しないじゃないですか。大体が臨床栄養やってて、で、スポーツ栄養っていうのはどちらかというとそういう普段の生活にも利用できるもの。
But it's not teaching people how to thrive. So what we teach, in a dietitian, nutrition, working in hospitals, they're teaching people how to survive. But we teach people how to thrive, be their best, have their strongest performance, recover faster, lose fat faster, the most efficient, natural and healthy way, put on lean muscle tissue, be stronger, optimized human health. That's what we teach. And nutrition and dietitians don't have that as their core principles.
で、栄養士とかはその大体病院とかで病人がこう生存するための栄養じゃないですか。で、だけどスポーツ栄養っていうのはそこからもっと良くなる、そういう栄養だから、そこをやっぱり全然今までの栄養士っていうのは勉強してないから、それを勉強している。さっきの使った言葉がサバイブとスライ、thrive っていうんですけど、
It's our new catchphrase.
なんとなく似てるじゃないですか、言葉。だけどサバイブとそれっていうのはやっぱり違うんですよ。生きるためなのか、それともなんていうの、成長するためっていうか、これいいですね。Yeah, it's a new phrase. Same, different.
Same, but different. We've got a few. It's amazing what a few protein shakes will.
I like that.
Survive and thrive. One of the videos that I did filming in the gym, I talk about the survive and thrive. Yeah, and I think that really what represents. I mean, what I think, in fitness education and fitness certification, for many years, personal trainers, or anyone that wants to learn about fitness, their foundation, they always get a CPT, a certified personal training qualification, and that's important. But I think we all know now, and thanks to the amazing power of the internet, that the abs are made in the kitchen. Our body, our health is made in the kitchen. 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. So more and more people are starting to understand and get that they actually should be putting more effort into understanding nutrition. And the best qualification or education to get in nutrition should be the most advanced, and that's the performance nutrition with the GPNi and the ISSN certifications.
でパーソナルトレーナーとかはほとんど栄養の勉強してないじゃないですか。だけど実際は体が作られるのは栄養なんで、栄養が 80% でトレーニングが 20% ぐらいであるべきなんですよ。だからこのプログラムっていうのはすごい重要。
この比重っていうんですかね。それってそのドリューが言った中国、オーストラリアってどういう感じなんですか。理解のされ方みたいな。
What's the general understanding of that importance of nutrition in Australia versus China? So do they think it's all exercise, or is it more 50-50 or 80-20?
Yeah, good question.
In Australia
Yeah,
China?
well, I haven't lived in Australia for 17 years, so although I should know, but Australia has changed a lot in 17 years. But I'd say, when I first went to China, it was less than 2%. 17 years ago, less than 2%. I mean, it's so, honestly, when I first went to China, a lot of people were, if I want to lose fat, I stop eating meat, I eat more rice, and eat more vegetables. And vegetables with lots of oil, because Chinese food all has oil, right? This was 17 years ago, majority thought this way.
もう当然ながらもう当初はもう 2% とか 3% 栄養のことなんか全く分かってなかったんです。
It's crazy. So in the 17 years, like many things in China, it's very quickly caught up.
だいぶ中国で変わってきてる。
I would say in China, different than Japan, we're talking about Japan has reluctance to change. There's certainly some of those elements in China as well, but when it comes to technology and accepting technology and accepting some change, it's very, very quick. Chinese love to learn, and adopt a new thing. So from 17 years ago to today, it's still got a lot of room to grow in learning, but it's much more advanced than it once was.
中国は比較的そういった変化をそうですよね、早いので最近はすごい変わってきてる。まだまだだけどもやっぱり変わる速度がすごい速い。
ちょっとそうですね、グローバルな話になっちゃったんでGPNi の方に戻してすみません、僕があれですけどね。この資格っていうのは世界でどのぐらい取得してるのか、このカリキュラムを使ってるのかっていう。
何人？
どのぐらいおおよそでどのぐらいこのプログラムを利用して資格を取得してるのか。
So far, how many people certified?
Thousands. I don't know the top of my head, but with the ISSN, as you know, it's 20-year anniversary coming up this June. So it's an amazing 20 years the ISSN's been running for. So over the last 20 years, I believe, and would have to double check with Joey, but I believe it's in the tens of thousands. In the US, a lot more people choose the US and international markets for years have chosen the CISSN because it's the master's level, it's good for dietitians, good for nutritionists. The SNS years ago, the PNE level 1, wasn't considered as important, but we've changed that over the last few years and added many, many more thousands to that tens of thousands as well.
だから全世界では10,000だから。
Tens of thousands.
1万。
でもこれから増えていきます。
これから増えていきます。で、もともとはあともう一個上の CISSN の方が多かったんですけど、これによって SNS も増えていく。
これを取得するとどういうシーンで使えるというか。
So what would the certificate? I mean, a certified person will be able to use the knowledge you gain from this in what kind of situation?
That's an excellent question. Well, firstly, to backtrack a little bit, so far with Dr. Seiji in Japan, there is actually 6 certified, qualified PNE Level 1 SNS in Japan so far, and we only started less than a month ago.
まだ1ヶ月しか経ってないんですけど、日本では6人います。さっきの数字で言うと。
So the website, there's an exclusive Japanese language website, jp.gpni.fit. There's an exclusive Japanese Instagram, jp.gpni, at jp.gpni on Instagram. The course book, which I showed you before, 100% in Japanese. It's 100% ready to go. And as Dr. Seiji has more than taught me, it's of Japanese quality. And you guys know what that means in Japan. Exceptional quality, created by our very dear partner, Dr. Seiji, to make sure it's as top-notch Japanese ready.
ウェブサイト行っていただければ分かると思うんですけど、やっとこのレベルにして完璧な、ほぼ完璧な。
あれです。この知識で例えばサッカーのチームを教えたいとか、そういう人がどのぐらい海外の事例でいいんですけど、何か現場でこう活躍してるよみたいなこと。
So going back to his question, so what situation do the certified personnel benefit from this?
It's an excellent question. So, one thing I believe a lot of certification companies lack is two fundamental areas. One, a lot of certification. There are nutrition. There's probably some in Japan. I don't know too much about the Japanese market, but in other countries there are. And generally, the content is copy paste from Google, and it's not authentically created content, and it's not up to date content. So they're really missing out on depth, detail, and cutting edge, scientifically backed education, and that's what all of our courses represent.
で実際にこういうスポーツ栄養とかの講座とかあるんですけど、ほとんどがそのなんていう
はい。わかります。
わかりますなんだけど、これに関してはやっぱ ISSN のバックアップがあるような非常にハイレベルなやつ。
It's also, we have a lot of authors of the content, obviously the ISSN and the position stands, and Dr. Jose Antonio contributing obviously a great deal, and everyone involved in the ISSN. We also have our co-founder of the Global Performance Nutrition Institute, Dr. Roger Adams, who is our Chief Education Officer and has helped author and put together all of this content with various other experts and creators of all of the course content.
でももちろん ISSN の創設者のドクター・アントニオもはじめ、この GPNi の、創立、なんていうの、コーファウンダーの、ロジャー・アダムスっていう先生がいるんですけど、創設メンバーで、彼もだから、まあ、ずっと研究してる人なので、そういった情報をまとめた。
So that's the first thing that they benefit from. The second thing they benefit from is the GPNi and ISSN international certifications are truly the most recognized and respected certifications in the entire world. Recognized by many universities, recognized in multiple languages. There is not a certification in the world today that comes close to being recognized or respected as these certifications. For those in Japan looking to potentially upgrade themselves and update their career, then this is truly the gold standard qualification and certification in the world.
で今までそういうものは日本で世界中どこ探してもなかったわけなんですけども、これが初めてそういったレベルのものを持ってきている。
And the third thing, and I think this wraps up the first two very well, is confidence and being able to use that new knowledge and that new qualification in a way to be a better coach. Because a lot of the time, it's not just the knowledge you use, but how you apply that knowledge in the real world through presentation, through case studies, and through building your confidence to be able to create a diet plan and onboard a new client. So all of that you'll find in the course, so you can leverage this new knowledge and cutting edge qualification certification, but how to use that in the real world and build confidence to be better at what you do.
で一番やっぱ大きいのはこれを取ることによって自信が出る、栄養の指導をする自信が出てくるっていうことと、その得た知識をなんていうのかな、要は学問だけじゃなくて、もっとこう応用できるような知識があるので、それができるという自信がつく、それが一番大きい。
実際じゃあプロチームとかそういうところにこの資格取得者が入り込んでるというか活躍してるっていうイメージですか？
それはね、ウェブサイトのスチューデントテスティモニアルってあるんですよ。今までの受講者が
受講者の声
そうそれがあるんだけども、それを見ていただくと分かると思います。So he asked, so the certified people would be attending pros and so on and so forth, right? And I told him, look at the testimonial section, that has whole array of levels of certified people
Absolutely.
looking after pros and you know.
Yeah, I mean, the students that we get, I'd say there's three types of students, at least in Japan, I don't know, and Dr. Seiji knows more. Actually, there's a lot of dietitians in Japan already. The six so far, a lot of dietitians and nutritionists. Again, they want the cutting edge and they want that performance understanding with nutrition, not just clinical nutrition. But so we have that in the West too, a lot of dietitians and nutritionists wanting the most authentic performance nutrition certification. But we have a lot of trainers, and I wouldn't. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with everyone. This certification is not for everybody.
でこれ
This
実際日本でも今のところ栄養士さんがいるんですよ。あとはまあトレーナーの人もいるんですけども、海外でもやっぱり栄養士さんとトレーナーさん。
you know, I mean, I think everyone should do the certification and should learn, but the fact is, it's really for, you know, those that really committed to being the best they can be when it comes to fitness, whether they're a coach or even we get people that are not coaches, not in the, they just love fitness, they love nutrition so much just for their personal satisfaction, or they run a business, or they're thinking of running a business in sports nutrition and they study with us. But it's really for those that want to be top in their field and recognize it's not for average trainers that, you know, don't care about advancing their career.
そうだから、やっぱりこういうのっていうのは普通のもう、まあ、やる気じゃないじゃないですけども、勉強をしたくないような人たちのためじゃなくて、やっぱりこう知識に対してハングリーで自分をそれ以上に磨きたいで、それを仕事に役立てるのか、それとももう自分自身のために役立てるのか、そういうところでも何しろベストでやりたいっていう人たちがこういったものを取る。
これちょっと話それるんですけど、僕とそのミールケアがやってるのでニュートリションコーチプロジェクトっていうのがあれで、自分たちでそういう指導をしたいっていう人を募って現場に送る、現場の営業はミールケアと、僕がやるんですけど、でまだ栄養の知識がない人っていうのは公認を取ればいいのかって結構迷ってると思うんですよ。だからこれを
全然これでいいと思う。
ですよね。でそういうのをなんかちょっと連携できないかなっていうのをちょっと
それ後で話します。So he is in charge of this web magazine, right?
Okay.
But there's a parent company that runs food service.
Okay.
And the company actually dispatches dietitians.
Okay. Wow.
But some of them don't have proper education.
Okay.
And whether they should be taking more advanced, like the local sports nutrition certification, or this. And I told him definitely this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be talking to him about the collaboration with
Perfect.
this company.
Yeah. I mean, look, are they going to learn something from some of the other local nutrition? Yeah, they'll learn something, but they're going to learn everything with this certification.
だからおそらくこれが一番僕
見てると思うんですよ。でこれ見たのと、あと話聞いてレベルがある程度高い知識を得られるっていう点では、公認で何年もかけてやるよりかは
全然いいですよ。
そうですよね。
だからそこまで取る必要ないじゃないですか。
そう
だけど、その下のもないじゃないですか。だから本当ちょうどいいと思う。
でアスリートフードマイスターはちょっとね。
もう全然違うから。
そうみたいな。
Yeah, so I told you about the athlete food meister degree.
No.
No, the one I spoke last week.
Okay.
You know, but that's different. That's
Okay.
food. But this is nutrition.
Yeah. Big difference.
Yeah. いやこれ絶対いいですよ。
ちょっとこれはあれですね。また別件で話した方がいいかもしれない。
話しましょうね。皆さんが取るように。
I was going to suggest as well. I mean, you're the boss in Japan, but maybe we open up a free account so he can learn and understand what we're doing more.
Yeah, that's
Or free, or you look after him a promotion. Yeah, I think so. You know, get him the textbook, so then maybe we give you an account, a qualification for you.
やります？ただでいいって。
本当ですか？
Yeah. So you can understand more.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're writing about us.
so
The best way to understand is to do it.
だからもう
そうですよね。
やればわかるからだ、
はいはい
ぜひ取って、
それで取ったものをどういうあんまり中身見せない方がいいんですよね。どういうものが学べるか的なこの感想的なのをまた記事にして、
いやだからその
僕でも取れます的な、やってみた的な感じ。
なんか面白いかもしれない。
ちょっとだから
ちょっとそれ別に別の話しましょう。
ここらそうですね。
Well, I'll be talking to him about how I could collaborate with his company.
Sounds
his
great.
parent company.
Great.
今栄養士何人ですか？
あれですか。
その
いやまだね、一応ね公認取ってる人とかは、応募しては来てるんですけど、ちょっと今ねサイトのリニューアルで登録フォームがもうできないんで。
あ、そうなんですね。いや逆に栄養士管理栄養士で逆にスポーツ
これね絶対つながると思います。
つながる
今話した感じで、いやこれを多分カリキュラムに落とし込んだ方が絶対いいと思うなと思って。
全然いいと思います。
ですよね。ちょっとそれしめ。とりあえずGPNi の話。あとですね。
As long as, of course, after he's qualified, he can write a story about it and take lots of videos and photos after he's qualified.
あとそうですね。ちょっとまた戻るんですけど、このカリキュラムでサプリメンテーションってちょっと日本だとかなり食事もそうなんですけど、サプリメントはもっと追いやられているような状況なんですが、そういうような勉強もできる。
So, also in Japan, people are sort of hesitant to take supplements.
Yes.
Okay, so this course, what's the position on supplements? And I know the answer, but
Well, no, I mean, we see. Firstly, we're GPNi, we're not ISSN. So the course itself is very deep on all areas. It's not a supplement course. I mean, it's a food and nutrition course. Now, are supplements part of nutrition? Absolutely. As is food is part of nutrition, so is supplements part of nutrition. But this is truly a holistic using. I mean, is protein? Yeah, I mean, protein powder, protein from fish and chicken. It's all a macronutrient.
当然ながらサプリメントもその栄養管理の一部であるので、その肉のタンパク質とプロテインドリンクのプロテイン、そういう位置づけで別にサプリメントだけの話をしてるわけじゃないんだけど、要はパフォーマンスニュートリション、その中にはサプリメントも必ず必要になる。
これ楽しそうですね。
Now, the ISSN is well known for a lot of the position stands and journals to be some focus on supplements. It's well known. And of course, there is those areas in our courses. There has to be the ISSN position stands, the ISSN certifications. But the course itself, the GPNi course, the PNE Level 1 in Japan, and PNE Level 2 Masters, is so much broader than that it covers all areas when it comes to performance nutrition. And supplements is just a cornerstone of that, but there are so many other dimensions when you're really putting together a cutting-edge performance nutrition diet for athletes or the general population just wanting to be their best.
だからもう最良のニュートリションという意味では当然サプリメントも入っていて、このコースはもうその最良のところに行くためなんで、それ以外のところももちろん内容として入っています。
そもそもやっぱおそらくスポーツニュートリションっていうのを知ってるようで理解しない人が結構多くて、でフード、食事栄養管理でサプリメンテーション、あとアンチドーピングとかもそうなんですけど、このドリューが考えるスポーツニュートリションってポイントでどういうものが考えられますか？
So, obviously sports nutrition includes food, supplements, and the anti-doping component too. But, so, what is your opinion on そのどこ？
そう例えばこれとこれとこれとこれだみたいな。
So, what is your opinion on the important points about sports nutrition?
Okay, I think the most important points in sports nutrition is there's a few important points compared to general nutrition. You know, as we said before, you know, general nutrition will teach you how to survive, and performance nutrition, sports nutrition will teach you how to thrive. And to do that, you need to understand what is the most perfect timing. So, and there's a position stand on that, and nutrient timing. So, number one.
でまず一個はその普通の栄養っていうのは確かにそのさっきのサバイブとスライブじゃないですけど生きるためだけど、そうじゃなくてスポーツ栄養っていうのはパフォーマンスを上げるってことじゃないですか。でもう一つ重要なのはタイミング。どのタイミングに何を食べるか、それがすごい重要。
Number one, dosage. Like
量ですよね。
dosage. You know, what is the optimized, scientifically researched dosage when it comes to creatine monohydrate, when it comes to the essential amino acids, the all 9 EAAs? What is the optimal dose when it comes to protein powder? And again, the general population and the general nutrition is really unoptimized. It's just, you know, don't die, you know, and be healthy and live okay. But what we're talking about is optimized health, really how to perform better, how to live better, how to look better, how to be faster, stronger, fitter, faster.
だから要は 100% 以上になるためにはそのドーズをきちっと取るってことが大切です。必要な量、さっきのタイミングもそうだけど、必要な量を必要なタイミングで取る。それが重要。
タイミング全然あれですよね。
無視して
ますよね。
So, a lot of people do not, I mean, they ignore timing.
Yeah.
Nutrient timing.
Yeah, nutrient timing is absolutely important, but so is dosage. You know, a lot of people in the world, and you know, in Asia in general, they don't eat enough protein. Now, I don't think that's true with Japan, as we've been eating a lot of protein. Japan does have a higher protein intake than China and Indonesia, Malaysia, India. But, you know, dosage is very important. You know, most men that are training in the gym and trying to get results in the gym, you know, they should be eating around 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. Most people are not eating enough protein, therefore they're under-optimized to what they potentially could be.
で実際にその取るべき量を取ってない人がすごい多いっていうのは事実なので、多分分かってないでいるんだと思います。
Yeah. So, timing, dosage, very, very important. Okay. And then I think the other, I mean, this is not to do with what you'll learn in our course per se, but I think just in general, people just need also to be consistent.
あとだから重要なのは、継続するってこと、それがすごい重要。
Because what we're talking about is natural sports nutrition. And when it comes to natural sports nutrition, don't expect results overnight. It takes time. Every day, or 80% of the time, 5 days a week, eat healthy, exercise, and it slowly changes. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Don't expect quick results, and only expect results if you're going to be consistent. A lot of people, they buy a protein powder, or they buy creatine monohydrate. They take it twice. They forget to take it 5 days. They take it again next week. They forget to take it for 2 weeks. Then they take it again a month later. And they go, I didn't get any results.
そう。
Because it's not consistent.
当然これ栄養なんで、すぐには結果出るわけないじゃないですか。だから本当に継続してやることが重要。
そうですよね。これは選手自身、この指導を受ける側としてそこも実はやっぱ早く結果出したいもんだから結構こう重要なんだけどすぐに結果が出ないもんだからちょっと他に、トレーニングを重視するとかっていうなんか考えみたいな
あると思うんですよね。
ありますよね。
So a lot of the athletes don't, well, the expectation for nutrition is still, you know, wrong actually. So if they don't see results in 1 week, they go to something else.
Correct.
So that's part of the education we need to do. It's
Correct.
not a magic bullet.
No.
It's nutrition.
No. And that's why I say this course is not for everybody. You know, if those are just looking for a magic bullet, a magic pill, a course where you don't really have to study, you know, all the answers are given to you, you don't really have to learn, and there are courses out there, a lot cheaper than ours too. Save your money, don't study with the GPNi and the ISSN. This is really for the elite level, for those that really want to make a huge impact to their own personal health and body composition, and be the best coach in your area, in Tokyo, in Japan. I mean, this is for those that really want to stand out.
いや本当だからこれはそんなになんていうのかなすぐに結果が出るようなものを求めてる必要じゃなくて、もう根本的から生き方を変えるとか生活を変えるとかそういう人たちじゃないと意味がないと思う。
ちょっとまとめのところでこれから日本でどういう形で、まあちょっとさっきも聞いたと思うんですけど、まあ目標みたいな将来像みたいなそういうところっていうのを描いて、まあこれ青柳さんも
それ僕が
だと思うんですけど、
So he wants to know the vision for Japan.
Well, I think, I mean, that's a great question. Well, I mean, I'm going to answer it very simply and then hand it over to my business partner, Dr. Seijay. My vision is Seijay and Japan to be hugely successful, and Seijay to teach me what is needed to support Japan, because I trust Seijay's leadership. He is Japanese, he knows the market. So my vision is for Japan is for Seijay to be hugely successful, and Seijay to share his idea of the vision for Japan.
だからまあ彼は僕にそれを託してるんだと。
まあここはちょっと空白しといて青柳さんに書いて。こんなもんですかね。
Maybe that's about it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to grab another coffee before they turn it off. But we should get a photo before we finish too. Is it done? Or is there any more?
あとだから原稿上で。
そうですね。で、ちょっと別記事でなんか聞きたいんですけど、そのオーストラリアの中国のその事情みたいなニュートリション、これまた別記事で書いて。
He wants to write another article
Okay.
on the nutrition market in Australia and
Okay.
China.
Yeah, sure. I mean, happy to. Yeah, we can buy teams or something.
Yeah. なんかまた別のあれでやります？
別でも大丈夫ですか？
全然大丈夫。チームスでもやれるし。
あ、じゃあその時に。
Yeah, next week or the week after, something like that.
もうコラボ企画みたいなのを紙面上で、なんか IS
で GPNi とコラボみたいな。
そうそう。で、青柳さんの連載コラムをもうそれに変えちゃって。それだと多分継続できますよね。それでドリルに出てもらったりとか。
OK。そうしましょう。で、なんかもっと海外の情報とか
そうです。そこはちょっとやっぱり続けたい情報なので。
で、このSNS やってるのが、So what countries are you in?
Well, we're in every country in the direct sense because we're online, but franchise partners.
Yeah.
So with franchise partners, because we have two different areas of the business. So one, we have students that aren't in these countries that we're in with partners. Students can log in everywhere in the world. But with franchise partners, exclusive partners, we have in Australia and New Zealand. So they get localized support in the United Kingdom, England, and the UK. We have our franchise partners, Paul Reed and his team. In China, we have the China team in Chinese language. And Taiwan, we're just launching again in Taipei, but this time with a very professional exclusive partner in Taipei. And of course, Japan.
Yeah. No, so we're talking about, I've been writing essays on his website. Yeah?
Okay.
So we're going to convert that section to a GPNi section.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yep.
And then he's interested in getting more international information.
Sure, I understand.
So perhaps your contact from, let's say, Taiwan could write an article.
Sure.
In this,
I understand. Yeah, we can work on that. Yeah, no problem.
だから今
I think
これ
they'd love to share their story and photos and videos. Yeah, yeah,
そうで
absolutely.
すこれを展開しているイギリスと台湾とかオーストラリア、ニュージーランド、そこの、僕みたいな人間がいるわけですよ。そこから情報をその国の状況みたいなのを書いてもらって、それを載せればいいんですよ。全然いいですよ。
No worries. No worries.
なんとなくもう企画ができちゃって
できちゃって
できてます。
そうそうそうそう
なので、そうですね。青柳さんのやつをもうその
その
ちょっと6月からちょっと変えて、
全然いいです。
前の記事は載っけたままで、
世界事情みたいな。
そうですね。
いいと思います。
じゃあ
That'd be very good.
そうですね。
Cool. What's the name of his magazine again?
スポトリ。
Spotri.
いや、
スポーツニュートリション、スポトリ。
Spotri. So Sportori and sport. So it's Japanese for sports nutrition. I mean, it's a perfect collaboration, and we really look forward. The GPNi ISSN, Dr. Seijay, myself, really look forward to
Yeah.
continue collaboration with Sports Nutrition magazine and website in Japan.
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah, it's great. We look forward to working with you. I'm going to grab another coffee because they're going to turn it off soon, and then we'll take a photo. So thank you, arigato, thank you, and to Sports Nutrition
Spotri.
Spottori.
Spotri.
It sounds so Italian, doesn't it? Spottori.
Spotri.